I think it's just more emotionally hard than others, but God has really given me help and grace through this time.
For the sense that she was carrying that life within her and she was sustaining that life.
What it could be, she had had that happen before with the pregnancy and she was able to keep the baby. And so she said there is still a chance to go in and see. And so we went in and they tried to check for a heartbeat.
According to Duggar Family News, allegations regarding the church that Jinger Duggar and her husband Jeremy Vuolo attend are coming to light. According to the charges, the Grace Community Church in Sun Valley, California, allegedly threatened women who were seeking to escape violent marriages. Stay with us till the end of the video and we'll give you the lowdown. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Topish. We have some exciting stories that are full of lip-smacking delicacies, so make sure to subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. With that being said, let's begin. Shocking allegations regarding the church that Jinger Duggar and her husband Jeremy Vuolo attend have surfaced. At Grace Community Church in Sun Valley, California, there are allegations of threats made against women who tried to leave their violent spouses. According to The Sun, a recent expose that appeared in the magazine Christianity Today earlier this week contains some alarming charges concerning church elders, according to the Duggar Family News. According to the article, these elders told the women to forgive and submit to their violent spouses rather than responding to their complaints against them. In one case in particular, 𝐦𝐤𝐤, who had come forward, was publicly reprimanded by the church for refusing to take her allegedly violent husband back, according to the article. It's telling that Gray's charges turned out to be more than true because her husband David Gray was sentenced to prison for both child molestation and assault. An ex-church elder steps forward. Even though the incident occurred 20 years ago, the church has never admitted guilt or expressed regret for how it handled Mrs. Gray. Former church elder 𝐥𝐤𝐤 claims that the pastor, John MacArthur, instructed him to forget it when he asked them to reconsider the situation. A lady said that the church leaders had persuaded her to return to her allegedly violent husband and skip a restraining order despite his known grooming activities in a more current case from last year in 2022. These women appear to be playing Russian roulette. For these troubled women, John compares the counseling provided by Grace Community Church to essentially playing Russian roulette. The former church elder claimed that the church expressly threatened to reprimand other women who came forward to him seeking protection from the abuse they were experiencing. Grace Community Church stated in an online statement that it deals with charges individually and privately. They implied that the church's history and congregation are the testimony when they described their therapy as biblical. A spokesman for the pastor, John MacArthur, has not yet offered a statement. Jeremy Vuolo may be beholden to Grace Church. Out of the 3,500 people that attend the services at Grace Community Church, Jinger Duggar and her husband Jeremy Vuolo and their 2 children make up 4. Moreover, John MacArthur, the church's pastor, is connected to the Master's Seminary where Jeremy Vuolo works. The relationship between Jinger and Jeremy will now be discussed. Jinger Duggar recently talked about how her husband Jeremy Vuolo helped her stop being an agreeable wife. The 29-year-old believed that following her family's rules and customs from the Institute of Basic Living Principles was the key to living a happy existence while growing up on TLC's 19 Kids and Counting on. Yet Jinger proceeded with a disentangling journey from those traditions, which she describes in her new book, Becoming Free Truly, and it wouldn't have been possible without her husband, Jeremy Vuolo. In an exclusive interview with E! News, she said, "Jeremy has been extremely nice throughout this entire process. I know it must be very difficult for him to watch these wrestling matches, but he's been so patient with me," she said. "He's only ever been there to support me, to aid me, and to give me encouragement during the long, trying days." Jinger said that she was constantly worried about being agreeable with her boyfriend and not having her own perspective when she was first courted by Jeremy, who is also a Christian and does not belong to IBLP in 2016. Jeremy is a Reformed Baptist pastor, but he's not a member of IBLP. She admitted, "I wouldn't really think for myself. I would merely ask myself, what is the proper response? Or what do I believe I ought to say to him at this time?" But Jinger discovered she could be anything she wanted after spending more time with the former professional soccer player. She added, Jeremy basically encouraged me to be myself, feel comfortable sharing my own thoughts, and have opinions on life, rather than trying to be someone I'm not. I believed that I had to be this accommodating wife that would make me secure. Felicity 4 and 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐤 2 are the couple's daughters, and Jinger and Jeremy wed in November 2016. Jinger underwent yet another significant life upheaval when she left the Arkansas hamlet where her parents had raised her and her 18 siblings and moved to Los Angeles, where she's considering enrolling her children in the public school system. "We have a fantastic neighborhood and great dependable friends that we love to hang out with," she said. "The sheer number of fantastic schools in this area amazes me. What we're going to do for Felicity is something we haven't yet decided. I'm not sure I want to teach her at home." And despite the fact that Jinger's childhood was exposed to millions of viewers, she's chosen to raise her own girls in a different way. She said, "We felt pretty passionately about providing our kids privacy and letting them choose whether or not they wanted to be in the public glare. We will observe their decision. We're merely preserving their privacy for the time being until they have the freedom to decide what to do." Prior to their courtship, Jinger even made her parents' actual emotions towards Jeremy public. The former cast member of Counting On made the startling admission in her most recent book, Becoming Free Indeed. Jinger acknowledged that the Duggar patriarch Jim Bob 57 and matriarch Michelle 56 weren't initially fond of Jeremy in the recently published book. In fact, the 19-year-old traditional Olds parent first forbade the former soccer star from courting their daughter. Jinger wrote, "My parents did not arrange for Jeremy and I to meet. We made the decision to date and even think about getting married on our own." She continued by saying that it took her parents several months to come around to the notion of Jinger hanging out with the former athlete turned minister. "But because we didn't initially have my parents' approval, it took more than 5 months for our relationship to start. They wished to know Jeremy better. His upbringing and theology were apart from ours, which made my parents hesitate," according to the former TV personality. Jinger and the rest of her siblings needed permission from their parents before starting a relationship in accordance with their rigorous Christian principles. Moreover, they were not permitted to shake hands or kiss, and they had to have a chaperone present at all times while courting. Around 20 men indicated interest in pursuing the TLC alum, and there were plenty of suitable bachelors waiting in line, according to Jinger. "I can't recall how many boys specifically asked my dad whether they could court me. It had to have been at least 20. There might have been up to 26. I'll never forget the week when 5 young guys come up to my dad and asked to date me," she admitted, but she claims some of them were only trying to court a Duggar girl because of their celebrity status from reality television. Jinger even said after gaining the go-ahead from her father that she wasn't sure Jeremy 34 was her true love. "I wasn't certain I wanted to get married to Jeremy when my father gave Jeremy and me permission to court. Although I admired and appreciated him, I didn't know him well enough to decide if I wanted to live my entire life with him." She continued by saying that because a chaperone was constantly present during their courting, it was difficult for them to have in-depth chats. Jinger had her doubts, but in November 2022, she and Jeremy celebrated their 6th wedding anniversary. Jeremy serves as a preacher at Grace Community Church, and they currently call Los Angeles, California home. There, they're raising their 2 children, 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐤, who's 2, and Felicity, who is 4, while keeping them out of the public eye. Yet, despite being so far from their families' parents, Jeremy's are in Pennsylvania, while the majority of the Duggar family is in Arkansas, the two have still had to deal with difficulties. In early 2021, the U.S. Sun broke the exclusive story that Jinger and Jeremy were scaling back on some of their business endeavors because they were overwhelmed. According to a source, they wanted to concentrate on their struggling marriage. Their well-liked podcast, The Hope We Hold, was the one they chose to postpone. The TLC reality stars debuted their Christian program in June 2020, and since then, they've amassed a fan base of hundreds of thousands of people. Jinger and Jeremy are encountering a bump in the road and want to take a step back from the podcast for a moment to focus on their marriage, a person close to the pair stated. With a new baby, a lifestyle brand, and a book release while dealing with a pandemic, they have a lot on their plates. As a result, their relationship suffered. They just want to work things out and come out of this difficult moment together and stronger as a family. They're still very much in love, and divorce is not in the cards. Another source revealed that the couple, who were struggling to care for their 2 children in the midst of the pandemic without any relatives nearby, intended to hire a babysitter. According to the insider, Jinger is particularly worn out and Jeremy took time off work to help with the kids, but they are considering hiring a nanny to give them a break. As Jeremy has been accompanying Jinger on the road as she promotes her biography, the couple now seems to be happy. That ends today's video. Please leave a comment below to let us know what you think will happen. Like and share this video to stay up to date on their progress, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Topish keeps you up to date on all the latest Hollywood celebrity news, drama, and gossip. Subscribe to our channel and check back for new videos and updates, and we'll see ya in the next video.